What is going on, guys? Welcome to a
Yo.
special live edition. This is the first live interview that we have done on the Channelside Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the legendary pioneer of epic hip hop. You may know him in Bolts Nation as the guy who created our anthem.
Indeed,
Thunder and Lightning, Mr. Vo Williams. Vo, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Good to see you.
Hey, great to see you. Man, there's just you're such an interesting guy. Like, this is what was cool. It's like, and apart from the music, is like I try to do a lot of research, before I have a guest on, and just like reading about you, watching previous interviews, I'm like, man, we have so many parallels like between each other. It's like I'm listening, like I know that you played guitar at a young age.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've referenced Guns N' Roses and Nirvana and Metallica, and I'm sitting there going, man, like this sounds like me right here. Like,
Yeah.
Are there any particular songs like, or riffs from Kurt Hammett or Slash where you were just like totally enthralled by?
Yeah, I actually, because I'm like an audio visual, for Slash, for me, it's November Rain when he comes out of that church and he's in the desert and he just starts going off on his solo. I really remember the music because of how they sold the music with that epic visual. And then, man, for Metallica, God, I have so many favorites. I want to say either one or his solo on Inner Sandman. I've been really Inner Sandman. I know it's super mainstream, but just the way he ends that solo is so huge, man, and I love it.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Have you seen Metallica live?
Man, I haven't. That's my bucket list item, man.
We got so lucky because they performed two nights at Welcome to Rockville last year.
Wow.
And the second night they did the entire Black Album, but they did it in reverse.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. It was. So my wife and I, we like to go to a lot of rock festivals and concerts just in general. And it was very Metallica's very loud. I actually thought that at one point. I was like, my ears hurt, and no other band has ever made my ears hurt. Like, they were just killing it on the stage. And yeah, and you mentioned one, and oh man, like that is such a fantastic guitar solo.
Insane, man.
Master of Puppets, which I don't. Are you a Stranger Things fan?
Oh yeah, I haven't caught up on the newest season yet, but I've been hearing. What's crazy is I actually listen to Metallica still quite a lot. I listen to everything, but classical, hip hop, rock, heavy metal. I listen to a lot, and I've actually been diving into the Unplugged Nirvana album a lot lately. But I'm always on my favorites on Apple Music on Metallica, and I've been seeing Master of Puppets creep up on the most listened to. So I know something must happen in Stranger Things with Master of Puppets.
Without giving you any spoilers, I will tell you that they posted on their Instagram and said that this is one of the best uses that they've ever seen of that song.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's perfect. So I can't wait. You're gonna have to text me and let me know what your thoughts are when you see that and you catch up, because it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'll definitely check on that. Actually, the music supervisor for that show, who would be responsible for clearing that spot, she's epic. She's a legend. Her name's I believe Nora Feldman or Nora Felder. I believe it's Nora Feldman.
Okay.
And she's always, pulling out all the stops and making things happen. So I know Metallica is a tough clear for a show like that, and I'm sure it was an epic use for sure.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I know you just mentioned the Nirvana Unplugged album. That was actually one of the first cassette tapes, the MTV Unplugged album. One of the first cassette tapes I ever owned was that.
Yeah.
And then the Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, I had those on CD.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see those live, but I had them on CD, and around that time, I just was like really into it, man. Like, I love Alice in Chains. I love Nirvana. I'm just a huge fan of music in general, and it's just the way that they write music is so epic. I didn't know it back then, but now I'm always rediscovering things and learning new things about my old favorite bands. And Nirvana really, the way that that Kurt Cobain wrote music was very like Beatles-esque,
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
if you yeah, like a lot of the songs on the unplugged performance have that kind of vibe, have that kind of simplicity and just like kind of like Beatles approach to it. So I really love that. I think there's a song in particular called um what's that song called? It's like a girl or something like that. I can't, it's off the top of my head, it's not coming to
And
me.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's about a girl.
about a girl. Duh, yeah.
I mean, you were so close. It's
That's
fine.
another one of the big issues about having so much music in my head is like, but About a Girl, yeah, About a Girl is a Beatles song, man. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like if you listen to that, like, it's yeah, that's a Beatles song, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. It's just there's so many parallels and just different ways to kind of express that same rhythm and that same approach to music. And yeah, I love it. I love finding those parallels across different genres.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
like you can tell that you have kind of cross blended a lot of music into your style, and you've really crafted and created your own lane. I mean,
Thank you.
the term epic hip hop is, I can't associate any other artist with that other than you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, if we're being totally honest here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um like when did you decide that like you were going to start making music, and
Yeah.
what were your original goals?
Well, I mean, I started making music at a super young age. I mean, when I was like 10 or 11, is when I started actually like finding a real interest in music. And I got my first guitar when I was 12. So thanks to my mom for investing in me and putting me into something that I was interested in. And yeah, so, and as I matured and as I grew into myself and discovered more about me, then goals started to form, and the direction and purpose is always evolving and changing even to today. But originally I just wanted to make what I loved. And it's like for example, like, watching Slash like perform that epic solo in the desert, like, that to me was like that kind of epicness, that kind of power, that they successfully illustrated and communicated through that scene, and through his brand and how they developed that rock star. That there's parallels between that and like a Superman movie, you
Mhm.
know? And
Yeah.
so I very much was sold on that power that they gave us through our rock stars, and I wanted to be Superman. But instead of like, and I also wanted to be Superman too, but like
Right.
instead of like flying and like kicking ass, it was like, having that crazy solo with the wind blowing. Like
Right.
it's really the same sensation for
Yeah.
a kid. And yeah, so my goals originally were just to be a superhero, and the musicians, the way that they looked and the way that they felt in videos was like, man, these guys are like so epic.
Right.
We get that. That's exactly what they were trying to do, and they did it well. So that was it. And then after a while, my goals became significance and wanting to be famous, and then I matured a little bit more, and it became I want to be financially successful and famous, and I want admiration from people. And then I matured even more, and I really kind of just wanted to help people, and I
Yeah.
wanted to give people something that I needed in music that I wasn't getting, and that's what really gave me. I was always making epic hip hop, but that's when the name for it, that's when the body of it and the spirit and the identity for it became pronounced and obvious to me, that's what I was doing, was creating this music that gives people the soundtrack to change their lives and to push through challenges, whether that challenge be like, going a little bit harder in the gym, or overcoming some huge emotional challenge, or some battle in life. I needed that kind of hip hop as a fan and a writer of hip hop. I needed that form of hip hop, and I couldn't find it. So I just combined all of the perfect colors from different genres that I feel like hit those things that I needed, and I expressed them through hip hop and made a voice in hip hop that kind of fulfills that. So
Okay, awesome. So we always know, like for you, for example, like we can associate you with over 2,000 different different credits, right?
oh yeah.
But we always see like people where they are currently. Like, what was your grind like initially when you were first starting to make music? And and I'll use the example of, like, I grew up in Collier County, you grew up in Sarasota.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it was for you, but it didn't matter what genre the concert was, Pitbull was opening. When
Yeah,
I've seen Pitbull in concert like 35 times, man.
yeah.
So like, was that the kind of grind you were doing back in the day too, or did everything just kind of fall in place like naturally for you?
Oh no, not at all, man. It's a long, short story, man. Yeah, I did a lot of MC battles,
Okay.
kind of like sharpening my craft in that way. A lot of songwriting. When I started, I sounded completely different than I do now. I've been through like 4 generations of sounds.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's just been a lot of work, and it still continues to be a lot of work. Tonight, I'm going to work, and I'm going to push myself to get better at writing music. It's everlasting. It's an everlasting pursuit, of greatness. And yeah, and then cool stuff happens along the way that I can kind of like milestone and benchmark. But for the most part, it's always been a hard grind, man. Shows. I did 106 in Park, Freestyle Friday on BET, retired on that
I
show.
didn't know that.
Yeah, retired on that show with Jay-Z as my final Jay-Z on Black Album Day was my final battle, actually, my 7th battle on that show. I've been pushing, man. I've been doing a lot.
Man, I'm gonna have to go back and YouTube that. Chances are I probably saw you. And
Yeah,
I just can't currently associate it because I remember watching Jin back then.
Jin was way before me, but yeah.
Well, okay, so he was okay. So I might not have actually seen you because that was kind of like where I started doing other things. Like
Jin was like years before me, but yeah, okay. I was on that show, and that's basically it. Just been pursuing it through that way, and I kind of got into the whole like movie, television, video game placement thing, just as a virtue of saying yes to an opportunity. A friend of mine was looking for an authentic hip hop artist, and I was like the battler, I was like the rapper, and they wanted to make a song. They never touched hip hop before, and for me that was perfect. I'm like, you're not a hip hop, you don't come from hip hop, and you want to make hip hop. I know I'm going to get something different. I know I'm going to get something that nobody is sending me. And so, so I went in with my friend Dan, who is now, still my friend to this day. I mean, we still make music now, but this is like 10 years ago. And we just made a song, and it exploded from there, man. That song, I think, has broken records at the library that we place it at. And since then, I've been doing things more independently and getting a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, we have like 2,000 placements, man.
Yeah, trying to run through your track record, and it was, you and I would be talking until next Friday if we ran through everything that you've done.
Yeah. And, honestly, I don't even remember that stuff. I have to write it down because I'm like, oh man. And so a friend of mine was I just reconnected with an old friend, and they were telling me how they were on a show, on a TV show, and I was like, I guarantee I have music on your episode. Like I never even watched the show before, but I'm like, I guarantee I have music on your episode. And then like we looked it up in my my royalty statements, and sure enough, there it was. 2,000 is a lot. That's a lot of placements, man.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
We're everywhere.
I mean, yeah, it's a testament to your hard work and the style of music that you make, because there's just something different. And something that I did want to ask you that just kind of spontaneously came. Do you work with the same producer for all of your like your beats and stuff, or you work with different people?
I'm always collaborating with different people.
Okay.
Yeah,
because there's such a unique sound, and like you said, it honestly, it is epic. It really is, because when you I could listen to, don't take this the wrong way, but like instrumental versions, right? I could just listen to those all day long and just feel like I'm sitting in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It's
what I love about what I do is I've been able to communicate what I'm looking for in music with my collaborators. And a lot of my collaborators come in and teach me things and bring their own ideas as well. Some of them complete ideas, and some of them we start together from scratch. And and a lot of the songs that you're hearing, even though they're some of them maybe with different collaborators, they're always going to come to the center of my sound because I'm leading those sessions and kind of pushing people through their own voices through their own voices, their own ways of expressing, their own ways of creating music, to meet me in the middle and find what that vision is through their lens. And so, you always get something dope, you get something different. And it's been great, man. It's been really cool.
That's awesome. That's so who are your, because I know you have a very eclectic taste when it comes to music.
Yeah.
In terms of like your delivery, your cadence, your rhyming style, who are some of your influences that you have picked things up from over the years where you're like, oh, I like that, I'm gonna try to do that?
Man, really, it's gonna sound like such a PC answer, but really, like, almost everybody, man. Like, I would say the core of my voice is like, man, like a lot of it is probably James Hetfield, bro.
Okay.
Even though I'm rapping, like, a lot of my approach is like very James Hetfield, and I would say some DMX, some Jay-Z is in there. Maybe a little Kanye is in there. God, I have a lot of influences, man. I mean, I've been, when you've been writing music for such a long time, I just really just think I sound like me. But but obviously I am the sum of my influences. I am the sum of the people who I look up to and admire. And if I were to guess, I would say that those are the people that I'm like, that I probably sound the most like, because I'm singing their songs the most,
Yeah, for sure. I've noticed that a lot of your songs, you'll have an entire verse that completely rhymes.
Oh yeah,
every bar, which reminds me a lot of like old school Eminem.
Oh yeah, interesting.
When you listen to like the original Slim Shady LP, when you hear stuff like that, for me, like I hear that and I'm like, dang, like that's crazy that every bar rhymes, not like every other bar when tie it back or anything. Like no, every bar rhymes, leading all the way up to the hook, and it's insane. So, and that takes a lot of talent. It really does.
That's the battler in me coming out. Like Eminem comes from that too. He comes from that like very lyrical, underground rap battle background, and that's that part of me coming out into this music. I just I love to do it, man.
Yeah. See, I'm a purist when it comes to like hip hop as well. Like if you ask me right now, like who are my favorite current artists, I honestly can't name anybody that's not in like mainstream headlines right now. Cause nobody has a unique sound in my opinion anymore. Everybody kind of sounds very similar. They've all got the same cadence, like, for me, it's like, okay, guys like Lil Wayne, he's still putting out music. I'm like, you're powerful enough to where if you really thought that, because a lot of people, it's a hot topic, think that hip hop is kind of been on a downfall, right?
Interesting.
And I'm like, well, if you've got guys that are still putting out music that have this much influence, like a Lil Wayne, like a Kanye, you guys could go back to your roots. Like, imagine if Lil Wayne put out another album that sounded like the Carter 1 or 2.
Oh my goodness!
Like
incredible. Now, incredible.
Like, and to me, I just feel like that would definitely change where we currently are in hip hop. Are you at liberty to give an opinion on where you think the state of hip hop is?
Absolutely, man. I'm completely independent. Like I have no fear, man. There's nobody over me like who can start or end my career ever.
You're gonna get someone card in your DM.
Yeah. There's not a guy with a button. I'm the guy with the button. I mean, I think it's in an interesting place. The thing about it is like, I'm at a place as an artist where I look at music like tubes of paint, right? And there's some interesting colors that are available in modern hip hop, and you need all of the colors if you want to have an abundant spectrum of a palette. So there's a place for what's happening now. I do feel like I do feel like, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of music that sounds the same. There's a lot. There's a little less. There's a little less. Like back in the days when you had Busta Rhymes, you had Wu-Tang, you had Jay-Z, you had DMX, you had Outkast, like all of those, Missy Elliott, Eminem, at all of these people at the same time, Bone Thugs and Harmony, none of those people sound like each other. They're
Right.
all completely different,
Yep.
but also, you had more time to make music back then, and also you had less tools to create music. So the barrier of entry was higher to get into music than it is now. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, there's so many tools for just anybody to sound industry ready. There's like sample packs that kids can just like staple together, with like mixed like sounds that like, back in Busta Rhymes days and Wu-Tang days, they had to learn how to engineer, master, find samples, play instruments.
Yeah.
Now kids can really just get on their cell phone, and I'm not saying this is a good or a bad thing. I think it's great because it's unlocking creativity in people and giving people access to expressing themselves. I think the con of that is that people lose the connection with the art of creating those sounds and actually studying the music and banging on the craft. But yeah, I mean, I think it's very fast fashion, music, and there's a place for it, and there's a place where it's harmful as well. But that's why I make the music I make, because I can't really get into it when I need power, when I need energy, when I need inspiration and motivation. There's not a lot of stuff that's available in mainstream hip hop that gives me that. So that's why I make what I make,
Yep, absolutely. And let me ask you this from an artist standpoint. Because I had this conversation actually the other day with a friend of mine where I love certain artists, but I feel like the anticipation for an album dropping in the digital age is like non-existent anymore. Like there are times where I'll load my Apple Music library, and I'll be like, Five Finger Death Punch had a new album come out 2 months ago I had preloaded, and I totally forgot it was there because, back in the day, you used to get the Source magazine, and the first 30 pages were all usually they were like no limit album advertisements, right?
True, yeah.
You're going through them and you're like, oh wow, this album's coming out, that's great. And now I feel like in the digital age, at least for the fan, is like I don't necessarily have that anticipation anymore.
Right. It's the speed at which people are able to consume music now, and the format in which they're able to consume music, which is we'll never really appreciate that, I think, ever again, unless it's a legacy artist like a Kendrick Lamar, like Beyonce, an artist where they maybe take a hiatus for like 4 or 5 years and work on something and then start to roll out an album rollout. For the most part, that other 99% of artists, they're only going to really have a couple of weeks to a month to promote their album and put it out, just because everything is so fast. And then once it's out, it's like, people are going to enjoy it for 3-4 weeks. Maybe they'll be hype about it, talk about it for a week and a half. And then somebody else is already putting out something else.
And just on to the next one. It's already done. I'm 100% with you on there.
It's interesting times, man. It's it's that for me, it's not, none of it is good or bad. It's just, this is just the way that it actually is, and then inside of the facts, we can find for ourselves the pros and the cons,
Yep.
So yeah.
So I know you've gone on record numerous times saying that your goal is to create timeless and universal music, which I think is an awesome quote. And to me, that's a hell of a lot deeper than a lot of other musicians are. When they just be like, I just want to make a hot track. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm not, we're not hating on them, but that's such a deep quote. When I know you said you went through different generations of yourself to evolve into where you've come now. Indeed. Was it that very first was it that very first track you did with your friend? Is that when you realized like, hey, like this like anthem epic theme music, like this is going to be my genre? Is that the first time you realized that, or did it take a little bit after that?
It took a little time. I mean, when I finally had that Slash moment, that Slash guitar in the desert moment, and I touched it, and I realized this is how I can be that. That's when it became my thing. That's when I was like, when I saw Samuel L. Jackson jumping out of a helicopter over a mountaintop while the helicopter was exploding to my voice, I was like, yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it for me.
This is how I walk through life. This is what I am motivated by. This is what sets me on fire. And this is what I create from now on. That's it.
And you're damn good at it too. I mean,
constant pursuit of that. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I mean, as long as you're never complacent, I talked to the managing editor, Henry Yoho from Bolts by the Bay. He comes on our show a lot. And he's always telling me, he's always like, you're either getting bad fast, or you're getting good fast. There's no in between.
Ooh, I like that.
I was like, oh, okay. So, that's kind of, if you're not putting in the work, I mean, you're going to be complacent and it's going to show.
You can never be complacent. I have so many, I've been fortunate to where like so many musicians have been able to see what I've done in my career. And, they're kind of helping me develop this into a viable genre by making their own versions of epic hip hop. So now, whereas I was like the only one really, me and maybe like 2 or 3 other people, because I'm not, obviously a lot of people are going to have the same ideas. We all had access to the same influences. So I'm guessing, there's like 2 or 3 of us, and now there's like 100 people who make this kind of music and pursue the opportunity to have a career in film, television, and they understand that if they make hip hop, that it's got to be big enough to hold that kind of epic scene, that kind of picture, or to hold the stadium, to fill an arena of 20,000 people. You know what I mean? Or a sea of 60,000 people. Like, you want to impact people in a way and have music that has the weight and the strength to carry that kind of weight, that kind of size, you know what I mean? And that kind of space. So people are getting attracted to it, and therefore, I'm getting a lot more competition, and because and competition is good, and it's keeping me hungry, it's keeping me reinventing things. And kind of like, staying in the forefront of the genre by making new music. So yeah, I can never really get complacent because there's always somebody right behind me trying to take my job,
I mean, but that's the hunger that you want that person behind you to be hungry though too, because that in turn is going to push you, because if the person in number 2 is like so far behind you and you can see like differences and they're not doing much, you're like,
it's hard to,
I'm good at what I'm doing. And then you just, you're kind of stagnant at that point, which kind of it's not good. Yeah. So if you can you're going to make 2 tracks. Okay. One is going to be a collaboration with any rock band ever.
Okay.
And one is going to be a collaboration with any rapper ever. Who are you choosing?
Any rapper ever, any rock band ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just rock, or can it be?
It could be, and you know what? It could be anybody.
Okay.
It could be any rapper, and then any other musician.
Metallica for sure. And the other musician is Jay-Z.
Okay.
Metallica, Jay-Z. Those are my collaborations. 100%.
Now, how about a mashup between them?
If we're going orchestral, Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
me, Hans Zimmer, and Metallica featuring a verse from Jay-Z. Come on, bro.
That's going to be on the next Disney Plus Star Wars series. I'm calling it right now.
Bro, that would be crazy. Imagine my song Finisher, or like even Thunder and Lightning, just like redone by Metallica with me rapping over it. That would be fucking insane, man.
That would be ridiculous. I mean, yeah. I'm always a sucker for mashups like that though too. You remember like the Linkin Park and Jay-Z album?
Yeah.
It was a Collision Course. I think that's what it was called. I mean, that was just fantastic.
Yep. That's it. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yep.
I would love that to happen, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're originally from, how long did you live in Sarasota before you moved out to California?
I lived in Sarasota for, I mean, the majority of my life. I traveled a lot in that time, spent a lot of time in other places, but primarily was there until I was like, I want to say like 18 or so.
Okay.
Then I went to Tampa. Then I came out to LA.
Okay. So how long have you been a Lightning fan, though?
Oh man,
You've been through the trials and tribulations.
Yeah, since I saw Mighty Ducks, I think it was like 2 or 3. When I saw that movie, that was it.
We see the knuckle puck from Keenan Thompson. You're like, oh, I'm sold.
Oh, when I was very, 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 very young, my dad took me to the Thunderdome to watch the Lightning play, and so yeah, man, and then things. I've gone into the forest a little bit. Now the prodigal son is back.
There you go. I like it.
So,
I got to go to the Thunder. That was my first memory of the Lightning as well. Is obviously growing up, my entire family is diehard Red Wings fans. Because for the longest time in Detroit, that is the only thing you had to be proud of for sports. That was the longest time. Yeah. After the Pistons won their 2 in the 80s, like that was literally. There was a whole stretch of the Lions are terrible. They have Barry Sanders, but they're terrible.
Yeah,
and it was just the Red Wings. So I remember going to see the Lightning at the Thunderdome as well when they had, I think it was like Roman Hammerlick's first season as a rookie.
Wow.
And it's just one of those things that I definitely recall. So I've been a Lightning fan for a while as well. I'm transitioning more, if we're being honest.
Man, I tell you what, man. There's we're everywhere, and now Red Wings have Lightning DNA as their head coach. So it's like you really can't run from us, man. I mean, ultimately, I think what we have in Tampa is and there's many great teams, but what we have in Tampa is pure history, man. Like, I think that we are the team that other teams will model their strategies after for years to come. We are that example, and and that's from the ice to the lights, man. I think from the presentation by the Lightning vision to the coaching staff, front office, players, everything, man. It's just like everything that we do as an organization, as a community, it's just top tier, man.
I 100% agree with you. We talk about that a lot on our morning shows, is just like how Jeffrey Vinnick just embraced the community of Tampa. And really, if even 50% of other sports owners, of other franchise owners would do what he did, everybody be in such a better position than we are.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the NHL is like they got a huge blessing in Vinnick coming into the sport. And yeah, I mean, I think Tampa is just that example, man. Like it'll be like that. It's just gonna take time for people to see that's how we get down, and they'll follow suit for sure. I'm excited for hockey as a sport in general, man. A lot of things are opening up. I think where we'll be in 10 years compared to now, and we're doing well now, but I think in 10 years, we're going to be looking at a sport that is just completely different, much more widely embraced, if that's possible. Even better funded, if that's possible. It's going to be insane, man.
Well, I think, even locally, I think that I've talked to so many people that are not from, because, Florida is a very transient area. A lot of people that are in Florida are not originally from Florida.
Right.
And I've talked to so many people at Lightning games, at the watch parties, which are probably the best watch parties I've ever been to, bar none. Doesn't matter what team it is, what sport it is. The Lightning watch parties are top tier.
I love it.
When I talk to fans, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm originally from Buffalo. I like these teams, but also I like the Tampa Bay Lightning. Or I'm from St. Louis. I like the Cardinals, and I followed the Rams to LA, but I really, really like the Lightning."
Yeah.
And that says a lot about the culture that the Lightning have they've created.
Yeah.
And
indeed,
winning does help. I mean, let's be real, right? It does help.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a cool and unique feeling.
Yeah.
Especially like, when your track dropped.
Oh yeah.
And everybody, like, I mean, just everybody's just sharing this and sharing this.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, I know him. I know that voice. Like and this is this is before I was really I had launched Channelside Sports.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
I gotta pull a historical move really quick.
Oh, here we go.
We're right back.
Yes, sir. So we appreciate everybody that is tuned in right now. We are live with Vo Williams. He is going to he's got a surprise move coming up here right now. He stepped aside for just a second. He'll be right back. Cannot wait to see what's coming our way. So thank you guys for tuning in here on the Channelside Sports Network. And
we're right back with you. Now, something interesting was happening here. We just had to resolve that real quick. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. It's when that track drops, it's different, man. It gets real different.
So obviously you grew up as a Lightning fan. So when you created that song, and that was specifically for the Lightning, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because I know some of your other stuff like you've created, which we'll get into in a little bit, like Greatness. I know that you had out before WWE called you. But Thunder and Lightning was specific, correct?
Yes. I made Thunder and Lightning. I started writing that song towards the end of last year's postseason.
Okay.
So as we're in the playoffs and into the finals, that's when I began becoming inspired to make that song. And we had the opportunity to work with Lightning Vision, John Franzone, and all of the people there, the team there, to create something together and make it a real moment. And by the time the new season started, it had all completely come together. All the music was there, the strings. I worked with a buddy of mine, Caleb, on that, and on the production side of things. And yeah, we brought it together, and it just was, it was magic. We knew it was it. We knew it was ready. And then there you go. Now fans are like singing it to me at the airport. It's insane, man.
And the rest is history, as I say. Like, my wife does not like hip hop, but like every time we drive to one of the watch parties, we had to have that song on. Like we live in Riverview, so it's only like 11. It's like 11 miles to Amalie or wherever a watch party would be, right? And she'd be like, "Oh, we gotta turn on that song by Vo Williams."
Yeah. It's like I wrote that song for us, for Bolts Nation, and I want people to have ownership of the song. It's your song, I mean, it's my voice, it's my name is on the title, but it's not really my song at you. It's our song,
Right.
and I want the kids and the adults and the lifelong fans to to own it and to walk around singing it and to know it and to wear it, because it really is a gift to you. It's something that is yours. And I think that's what makes it so unique, as opposed to like songs that are kind of like adopted, which is always a huge honor as well. But songs that people resonate and they're adopted, but the song already existed. It's different when you write something, like I was in the locker room drinking out of the Stanley Cup. Like I was right there. Like I'm in the video. Yeah. And it's like, I'm here for us, and it's like, this is what I do. It's like, it's just incredible, man. Like everything is surrounding this team is top tier. Not to sound braggadocious, but I am one of the best for sure. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it, my man.
Listen, 2,000 placements, I am one of the best, right? And I understand that. And I'm constantly pursuing being even better. How can I be better? How can I be greater? How can I make other people better? Even better than me? How can I teach? How can I share? Right? So I'm definitely the captain of this thing, and to be down there with you all, to know what the journey is, to have shared that time, shared that moment, and now I'm giving you this song. I'm giving you this. This is yours. That's what Thunder and Lightning is, and people have been embracing it. They can feel that energy. They're proud of it, as they should be. This is our flag in the form of music, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep keep pushing the opportunity and the blessing that the community has given me to sing this song for you. I'm going to keep pushing this, far and beyond, and we're just going to take it to a different level. So I'm excited about it.
Can't wait to see what that next level is going to be. When
man, stuff we got planned right now for 2023 it's insane, man. It's insane.
We'll have to keep tabs on that and maybe get a behind the scenes look or something. When you were creating Thunder and Lightning, did you spontaneously create it, or were you approached prior to creating it of like, hey, would you be interested in doing this?
It's wild, man. It's kind of the way it came together was just synergy, man. I can't explain how these things are working. It's just like I had already started writing that song towards the end of the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we were in the playoffs, we were battling against the Islanders, I was taking experiences from those games, and like it just lines were just coming to me. And and at the same time performing Ready Set at those games, and seeing what people were resonating with and the energy of the crowd, which is like, man, it just like sends chills up your spine, man. You could feel the ground shake, man. Like the people in that arena, man. Oh man, I can't even explain the power that these people have, man. It's like when you're standing there, it's like I make music all the time, right?
Yeah.
When you're standing there and those people scream and they clap and they sing, it's just like, oh man, I just get chills, man.
You get goosebumps thinking about it.
Bro, the power that these people have in Tampa, man, in that arena is unlike anything I can even, and it just, they gave me the music. All you have to do is watch them. All you have to do is open your eyes and observe what they've built and what they have created, what we have created. And the lyrics just come to you, man. It just is. All you gotta do is just open your eyes and look around that arena. Look at the kids. Look at the adults. Look at again the lifelong fans, people who've been coming. People who've been Lightning fans for years and years and years, right? And you look at the entire community and you feel that energy. You see the love. You see the connection that we all have. The love for the game. The love for the Bolts. And man, it just writing a song in that environment is like, that's the easy part. That's the easy part, man. So yeah, so it came together really on its own. And then again, John Franzone, Stephen Fry from Lightning Vision, they were like, yo, we should do something. Also DJ Bolt too. Shout out to Sean, DJ Bolt. They were like, man, we should do something special for the community, special for Bolts Nation. We should write something specifically for us, and let's attempt, let's try, let's give it a shot, right? And I was like, fam, I'm 100 steps ahead of you. I've been writing this song. So then obviously then being on board with that and supporting that, I was like, now I should finish the song. And we
finished the song, then just Kobe.
Yeah, and we dove in, and bro, synergy that's the word that I would use to describe it. Just synergy. Everybody was aligned. We all wanted the same thing. We all were heading in the same direction. And just with the support of the team and everybody at Lightning Vision to really take that idea and make it something epic and great, right? It's just like to be a part of that whole presentation, right? You got Sonya, you got Titus, you got all of these great voices and all of these epic parts that come together to create this crazy presentation. Greg Wolf, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I'm standing on that deck and I hear Greg and I hear him speak, introducing, getting people ready for the game, ready for battle. I hear his voice, and then the presentation starts. It's all one thing. And then, I get off, and then boom, the Titus video drops where he's like, let's freaking go, right?
Yeah, how epic is that video too, man?
Bro, it all is one thing. And then Sonya comes out and sings, and people are crying. You know what I mean? Like it's all one thing that leads into essentially just honoring and setting the tone for the audience to spill love onto our guys, because then they come out that gate and we're hyped, we're screaming, we're giving them support from minute one to the final second, and they go out there, they give us blood and bone, and they win for us, and they win for themselves, and it's just all one thing. We're just all really kind of like contributing to one great moment. It's just wild, man. It's wild, bro.
I'll tell you, it's awesome, because like when you see it, they'll show it live on Valley Sports, like you'll see it, but like when you're in the arena and you see the entire thing come together as a whole, I mean, there's really nothing like it to me. And then this, we have a lot of wrestling fans that are tuned in right now, but to me, like, this is indicative of like the opening of WrestleMania. And I'm not kidding. It's like, to me, like, I'm just sitting there just like with my mind blown. Like you said, it starts, from Greg. I mean, even the little kids when they're skating on the ice.
Yeah.
To AC/DC, everything that they do is great. And then you tie in Sonya, right? Who's just, I mean, one of the greatest national anthem singers I've had the pleasure of hearing.
Yeah.
Great. And just a great person all around as well. And then
Tampa staple, man, for sure.
For sure. I mean, and then, you come out, not always, but occasionally, like you come out, especially during the playoffs.
Woo!
And then it's just totally, I mean, it's totally different. Like, you don't get that. The Buccaneers just recently won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get that. You don't get that with the Buccaneers.
You don't.
And it's something that the Lightning, they just do better. It's like head and shoulders above everybody else. And I wish
they are an award-winning team. Lightning Vision is an award-winning team. You have to know that. I mean, it's like what I'm trying to express to you is that every part of this organization is the best.
Yep.
That team that saw it fit to invite me to contribute, to have the honor to contribute to this community, to this thing that was already great. And they saw a place for me to come in and potentially make it better, make it lift it up just a little bit in my own way, in my part of it. That team is award-winning, man. Like John Franzone, like that guy is a legend in that space, in that field, man. Like we have the best of everything, man.
Yep.
We have the best of everything, bro. I'll brag on myself, but I also brag on other people because I know, man. Competitors know, man. We know.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Especially when you've earned your stripes, man. You've already earned your stripes. Like, that's it. I mean, you've got your flowers. Like,
I'm just happy to be here, man.
The ride.
I just love it. It's a blessing from God, and I'm gonna lift it up, man.
Beautifully stated. You've performed in a lot of different areas, right? In terms of stadiums, arenas.
Oh yeah.
When you perform at Amalie, because you are a local, does it hit different?
Bro, are you kidding me? Man, absolutely. Look, for my mom and my dad, when I was a kid, we went to Play It Again Sports, and they spent $300 or so on the best that we could do, on used hockey equipment for me, so I can play, little league hockey, right? Not very far after that, or I'm sorry, not very far before that, they bought me my first guitar, right, from Sam Ash. This is all in Sarasota. So for them to see that $500 of investment that they put into me as a child come together as this synergy. Of course, I'm not on the ice like playing hockey. I'm just saying the synergy of like, this kid loves hockey and he's also a musician. For them to still be present, to be here, and to be able to just like drive 30 minutes or 15 minutes to watch me contribute to this show with all of these people, and to be accepted in this space amongst champions, it hits very different, man. It hits very, very differently. Like I was mobbing the streets of Tampa, honing my craft. This is where I'm from. So to be accepted by the community, to be home, and for people to show that love and just embrace me, it means a lot. It means a lot anywhere. you know, it means a lot anywhere for anybody to show me love and to support what I am passionate about. It's a little bit different because it's hometown. It's like, you know, here we are. Here I'm back, and this is where I'm at so far, you know. And yeah, man, it's this. I can't even really fully explain it in a way that doesn't downgrade the epicness of what it is. It's just wild, man, to be home and to be doing this with this team and with these people, with this community in this city.
You got nothing like it. And that's what I assumed that was going to be the answer to it, but I wanted to hear your words for it. And like I said, you know, because it's one thing to assume it, and then it's another thing to hear a person and, you know, express it and see like the passion on your face and like the appreciation for what your parents did for you when you were a kid going to play it against sports.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's things like that where when you come and you look at it full circle and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I started, and here's where I am right now. Like
right down the street. Started down the street doing that, and here's where we are today. You know, it's like, and it's only the beginning, man. It's wild because it's only the beginning. When I'm telling you what we already have in the pipelines, bro, we'll be talking in about a year or so from now. You're gonna remember I said this. I mean, it's already epic. It's already huge. We love what we've done. We appreciate it. If it stopped right now, I would have so much gratitude for the rest of my life. But we are still here. We're not done yet. And what is coming for this song, which is owned by this community, what I'm going to do with this music is it's going to be, and anytime you see it on TV, anytime you hear it anywhere, I want you to know that it's your song. And we're going to take it to a completely different level, man. I'm really excited about it.
Now that you said that, I feel bad asking or transitioning into
that's
our next segment here. You talked to Jeremy Lambert in December, who's a buddy of mine over at Fightful.
Oh yeah.
And back when you talked to him, we were back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, sir.
We were when I spoke to him, or
when you spoke to him, we were. And I don't know if you remember who he's a fan of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what, man? I was like, whatever. I wasn't even piecing that together, man. Right. To me, they weren't even on the radar at that point.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was like, man, I'm just reading it. I was like, I'm listening to the interview, and I was like, did Vo jinx us? I'm totally messing with you, but like,
was not me. That's a lot of power. Look,
right?
The bright side of that is, if I did jinx us and that happened, then I have the power to help us win. Which
I mean, then we need to have a different conversation if you got that much power. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't believe I own all of that, but no, but yeah, he is an Avalanche fan. You know, whatever. Well, congratulations to them. You know, and
they deserved it. Honestly,
they deserved it. You know, I feel how I feel about it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna be a bad sport. You know, honestly, man, like, it's great for hockey for them to compete with us and for people to be able to witness that. And it's even better for our story when we come and we take it back. You know.
Yep, absolutely. Did you see Isaac Howard's suit last night at the draft?
I did.
My God, like,
I'd be scared to like drop anything on that.
I mean, I looked at this guy and I immediately was like, he's got Joe Burrow swag. You know what I mean? I was like, the way that if you carry, and the way that I view it is, if you carry yourself a certain way, that's going to translate for you.
Listen, like, attractive people attract success. That's the way that it is. You attract success by being an attractive person. And that guy is, I can tell winning follows a kid like that for sure.
Yeah.
He's got the confidence. He's got the swagger. And, it goes a long way, man. It's, you don't really wake up and just like say, I'm going to throw a white suit on. You earn that. And I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever he's done to give him that much confidence, for him to bring that to Tampa.
I can't wait. I hope he doesn't spend too much time in Minnesota, man. I hope he spends like a year in college and then comes over here. Like, let's get this kid rolling. So tying it back to Jeremy Lambert and Fightful, obviously you are an old school wrestling fan, much like myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, who were some of your favorites when you were growing up?
Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, obviously. Man, yeah, I mean a lot. The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because you and I grew up in the same era, clearly, because we like the same music, we like the same wrestlers, we like the same sport. Like, we grew up in the same era, realistically. And like I've got my Ultimate Warrior shirt on. Like,
there you go.
That's what I'm known for. I'm known for formerly being a professional wrestling guy, and like, so I'll always have ties to wrestling. And that was one of the hardest moments I had, like, as an adult, is when I found out that the Ultimate Warrior passed away.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough, man.
Especially the night, like the morning after we just saw him live on TV when he was on Raw. And like, I remember my wife like calling me because I was off from work that day.
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm good." And I was just like, man, like, to me, that was my childhood hero.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And like, and I know he wasn't that nice of a guy. But I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, as kids, we didn't have that kind of depth of like, I literally thought that the Ultimate Warrior, I didn't even think that the Ultimate Warrior was a person. I thought the Ultimate Warrior was the Ultimate Warrior. Like, when I was a fan of Ultimate Warrior, like, that was the depth that I had in terms of perception. Like, I thought he literally woke up and he had that paint on, and always like, and I just imagine where if he slept, where he slept, I couldn't imagine him driving a car, So, but and then you become an adult, and it's just like, I mean, stuff like that hits you, man. You grow up, admiring these guys and watching what they do, and truly kind of like, it's a lot for a lot of us, at least for me. That's how I was able to understand a different kind of strength and championship and power, the drama, the storylines, the sagas, the heroism, those were our different forms of like superhero stories, and what those guys represent, man, is I still carry that with me today, man, for sure.
Well, I mean, and you are now the theme song for. I don't think people that don't follow professional wrestling don't understand like how iconic Monday Night Raw is.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw is like one of the longest running shows, I think,
ever. Not literally ever. I mean, it's been running longer than The Simpsons.
Yeah.
In terms of how long it's been, like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And it's like, for me, and when you see Monday Night Raw, you just think of all of the iconic moments. You think of everything that Stone Cold Steve Austin did, everything that The Rock did, like some of the biggest names, not just in wrestling, but in, like, The Rock is the biggest actor in Hollywood right now.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, like, it's just for me is like, what does that mean to you to have your name added to that list? Because that's a completely separate thing. You still get the trolls that are like, "Oh, this isn't a sport," whatever. But like, at the end of the day, it is it's the longest running show of all time. And it's like, how does that, when they approached you for that, because we know Greatness was out before it became the official theme. But like, when they approached you for it, like, did you realize, like, at the time, like, how iconic it was going to be to have your name there? Or was it just kind of like a business decision of just like, oh, for sure?
No, absolutely. Anytime I see WWE in my email, I mean, this is like the fourth thing that we had done together. Some of the other stuff was a little bit under the radar. We did a video game trailer with them a few years back, and then just after that,
Battleground, I think, right?
Battleground, yeah. And then actually, this is crazy. This is before my first season with the Tampa Bay Lightning, which was 2020. I'm sorry, 2020, 2021. Yeah. WrestleMania 37 in Tampa. at Raymond James Stadium. Bianca Blair, her pre-match presentation was my song Only Survivor.
That's right.
So
That's right, yeah.
So that was crazy for the music to be, for my music to be playing in Tampa, and really worldwide for WrestleMania 37 was insane.
Right.
During the moment in which she would transcend to become a champion, but then yeah. So when they reached out again and they were like, I was thinking there was going to be another placement like that, and it turned out to be the theme, and I had to like double check. I was like, wait, you mean like the thing, like it's gonna play in the beginning of one episode, which I still would be hype, I'm like, yeah. Okay, so it's gonna play in the beginning of what? And they were like, no, this is going to be the theme song. Greatness is going to be the theme song for WWE Raw for the entire season, for the whole year, right? And then potentially we'll extend that out for a few more years. So, I think it'll probably be the theme for the next like 2 or 3 years, but we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, when that happened, it just was like, man, this is just history, man. Like all of this history that's happening around me, man. It just feels, I can't explain what it's like. It's like continuously, it's continuously serving. It's continuously abundant to me. When I wake up, when I'm having a bad day, I think about that, and that makes me feel better. Like when I'm like struggling with this or having a limiting outlook on that, or like doubting myself, those things that are happening around me are constantly serving me, and constantly feeding me what I need in order to keep going, and they inspire me and they motivate me. So it's hard to explain what it feels like, man. It's like you never, it's epic. It continues to be epic, and I've been actually to a few tapings and had the opportunity to see how people are reacting to it there, and like they know the song, they're singing the lyrics. It's wild, man. It's so wild, man. It's so big. It's like it's like all of the things it's like my childhood is like come back and like gave me a big hug, and it's like, hey, like, remember this, remember that, remember this. And like, and now it's just like at another level. Everything I used to do back in the days, everything I was into, that's where I work now.
Yeah, I was just saying, you're back into it, but on a different front.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild, man. It's the feeling is like, anything is possible, man. Just keep working. Anything is possible. And, set new standards for yourself, because you'll never deviate too far from who you believe you are. Like whatever your standards are will be your ground zero. And when you get too far from that, you'll come back to that standard. So if that standard is high or if that standard is low, you'll always come back to that. And for me, these things are setting for me a new standard, a new baseline for how I operate, where I belong, what spaces I can contribute great value to, where my music belongs, how it sounds, how it makes people feel. These are all things that are now my reality. And now it's my job to take that and push it even further. And then that'll become somebody else's reality. Then I can come on here, I can talk to you about it. Somebody will see this and they'll say, oh, wow, that's what's up. And then they'll come and they'll take that rock and they'll make it happen for themselves. And it's just like, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. It's trailblazing. It's innovating. It's, setting the tone, making new possibilities for myself and others. It's all these things, man. All of these things.
So WWE has a history of taking the talent of like their musicians or their celebrity guests and involving them in storylines. So if you were to take a bump from somebody,
oh God,
what kind of bump would you be willing to take, and from who?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, man.
Okay, then the stunner, or like, what are you thinking? Like chair shot? Like,
I want the stunner. I want Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock tag team. Like I want it to be epic, man. Maybe the Undertaker comes back and 3 in a row, bro.
There you go. Choke slam you through the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Roll me out of there, man. I want the best thing ever.
I mean, yeah, that would be by far the most epic for any performer that has been on there too. And I mean, hey, everything else that you've done has been epic up to this point. So what the hell, right?
Let's push the limit. But yeah, the stunner for sure, though. Definitely.
Now, would you sell it well, or would you like how The Rock does, or would you be like Vince McMahon, where you're like, bro, come on?
No, it's gonna hurt, bro. I want people to know how bad it hurts. I'm gonna sell the hell out of it, man. Absolutely.
I'm gonna send Stone Cold a video clip of this and say that Vo wants to be the recipient of the stunner and see what we can work on for it.
We don't even have to do it in the ring. We could do it, in the parking lot. Like we can.
Yeah. I'm sure. I don't know if his hips will appreciate that.
We can do it into a pool, man. I don't care.
There you go. When even parallels to between WWE and with Sergeant Slaughter and G.I. Joe, right? Yeah. G.I. Joe is a brand that has transcended. It's been around longer than you and I have been around.
Absolutely.
It's been multiple generations. Like how did Just Getting Started become the official song for G.I. Joe? That's super iconic, because that's no matter what no matter where in the world you are, no matter, some people might not know who the Tampa Bay Lightning are. Some people might not know what the WWE is, but you'd be pretty hard pressed to not find somebody that doesn't know what G.I. Joe is.
Right. Yeah, it's insane, man. I mean, again, it's just I used to play with the action figures, man. And now my music is in the trailer for that movie, and yeah, it's one of those things where we have music that we release and it exists in the world, and we're constantly working with production companies through sync agencies, either through myself or through one of my partnered sync agencies, to provide music for these things upcoming. And obviously everybody in the world wants that spot. They'll go through the list and they'll figure out what is going to serve that trailer the best. And you just wait. It's like American Idol, and yeah, they decided to roll with my song, Just Getting Started. And that one actually was like a trailerized remix that some guys in the UK busted out. They killed that. And also, again, in collaboration with my buddy Caleb, we did that one together. And yeah, it came together in a very beautiful way. It actually was one of those that I wasn't sure that we were going to get it, because I just couldn't believe it. I was like, unlike WWE, which reached out and said, we want this, and I knew that I had it. This one was like, we pitched to it, and it was like, is it going to finish? Are we going to be the ones? Because a million people are in that spot.
Right.
And you just wait and you just wait and you just wait. And then it comes out and it's like, wow, this is crazy, man. I can't believe I'm in a G.I. Joe trailer.
Right. You watch the trailer and you're like, wow, damn. Well, and, and that was kind of one of my questions for you is where you are now in your career.
Yeah.
Are you regularly getting approached of hey, we want to use your music?
Oh yeah.
Or are you still having to go out there and grind and send emails and do pitches, which it sounds like it might be a combination of both at this point still.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so on the grind. It's insane. Right. Obviously people reach out to me now at this point because I've been doing this for, 10 years, and the industry at the elite level of things, it kind of gets smaller and smaller in terms of community. There's thousands and thousands of music supervisors and production companies and stuff like that. But when you start to get towards the top of that ladder, it's a much smaller community, and we all kind of know each other, and they know me,
Right.
When I came into this space, there was nobody doing what I do. And still to this day, there's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people who have now embraced epic hip hop, and they're making their own forms of it via seeing the success that I've had. And they want to touch that success as hip hop artists. They want to participate in that. So they've been taking on this kind of music because they see it works really well in the space. But still, there's not that many people, and and people know that I'm the one that started it. You know what I mean? So it's like we know each other. So when these things happen, and they're looking out when these productions come about where they need this kind of music, music, they always are going to reach out to me first and see what I have. So I get approached a lot. But I'm always seeking to be better. I'm always pushing myself to take things to another level. So, I kind of offset where my reputation is closing things for me. I offset that with more work, more pitching, more grinding, on top of that. So yeah, I'm still sending emails. I'm still, sharing new music with people, making new relationships all the time. New stars who are coming into the space and taking over companies and departments and stuff like that. And we're always kind of forging those relationships and just keeping the football moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a lot of work, but you don't really it doesn't feel like work. It's just like you're just sharing music with friends, really, and like they either like it or they don't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you're not gonna stop making music anyway. So it's like I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I've got this year. Like
exactly. I'm always walking around making music. Always, either in my head or in the studio. I'm always doing it. So it doesn't feel like work. It's just sharing music with people who are in the space to put that music to work. And that's how the Snake Eyes thing happened.
Okay. Well, and what's the old saying? If you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life.
There you go.
Is there one particular brand, whether it's, like a TV show or a movie series or a video game series that you've wanted to work with over the years that you just haven't been able to yet?
That's a good one. That is a very, very good question. I want to say Apple as a product, as a brand type of placement, Apple in some capacity, and film wise, and this may not make any sense because it's already happened, but Black Panther. I really wanted Black Panther, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted Black Panther. Hope maybe Black Panther 2 or 3. That's what I'm after, man. And I also wanted Coming to America. I wanted Coming to America too. Bad.
That would have been good.
Yeah. So, just stuff like that. I mean, there's different situations where where like we miss each other because maybe we're late on a pitch or we don't know there's so many movies and TV shows always coming out. Mm-hmm. It's hard to kind of hit everything that you really are right for. Like, for example, there's a new film coming out about Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks called Rise. Yep. And I haven't seen the film yet, but if there is a part in that film where they're showing his rise to through the NBA World Championship, that's something that I would feel like I would be perfect for because I was there. I was actually the theme song for that.
Right. Yeah. You were the guy.
I was like standing right there, like singing the theme song that they use all season through championship. Same thing that I've done with Tampa Bay and through the Stanley Cup, I was doing in Milwaukee. So imagine a movie coming out, about Big Rig or Stammer or something like that. And, of course, obviously, like if Palat has his own movie, it's going to be like Sweet Caroline. Like I'm not going to be the theme of the movie. I'm just saying if there's a scene where they're showing the Stanley Cup Finals and they show the intro, then you're going to have either Ready, Set or Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, like that's the authenticity of it, and that's honoring our community. That's honoring our history. This is what we were actually doing, and This is the music that was happening at that real time. So you get stuff like that movie Rise with Giannis, where like I haven't seen it again, but if there is any music playing if they show that game as part of his story in the movie, and they're playing music during that scene, that should be history in the making, because that was literally like they rapped the arena in my lyrics. Like that was the song for that moment. So You get stuff like that you wish connected, that doesn't really. But Black Panther was one of those things where I just was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get a song in this or in a trailer, but I really want it. And we got so close. We were so close to a trailer. And then they went with a really, really big name. And then after that, they brought in Kendrick Lamar to do the soundtrack. And they have a whole label. So they ended up kind of just like facilitating every single hip hop song needed in that, as they should. Kendrick Lamar is one of the
Right.
greatest.
Oh yeah.
And I love that soundtrack too. I love it.
Yeah. It's a fantastic soundtrack. It absolutely is, for sure.
I would have killed it too, but I would have killed at least a little bit of it. But Kendrick, and they did so well. I'm happy. I'm happy I got to enjoy their music and the way they did it. But I still do wish that I was in it. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I totally hear. A question for you that just came to my head too, as I see you moving around. Did you get a ring from the Bucks or just the Lightning?
Oh yeah. Oh no,
okay.
I got a ring from the Bucks as well.
Okay.
That one is actually still coming.
Okay.
I think I'm supposed to get it in September.
Gotcha.
It's crazy that you said that, because I actually just literally went and checked in on it. But yeah, that one is coming, and I'll definitely get a championship ring for that. And that was last season, so that just goes to show you the same company is also doing like the Warriors and the Rams, and so but yeah, and then this is my my Tampa Bay Lightning one. So
well, I'm seeing that. I'm like, well, of course you have that, because you're essentially part of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like you are part of the team.
Yeah, you know whether I will take it, man. I will take it. I can't do what the players do, but in terms of being a part of the community, for sure. Like we're all one chain and one we're just like chain mail. You know what I'm saying? We're all linked for sure.
Is there, and this is the final question. We ran super long on here, which is a great conversation, man. I didn't even realize we're closing in on an hour and 30 minutes here, man. Like, this is crazy. Cool. So you've got over 2,000 credits, whether like we touched it earlier, whether it's TV shows, movies, video games, sports anthems. Outside of working with the Lightning, because I don't want you to have to say that, but outside of working with the Lightning, like, does anyone particularly stand out as like truly special? Or like
outside of the Lightning?
Outside of the Lightning, because I know that the Lightning would take the cake because 100%. You're from here, you know. 100%. So like outside of the Lightning, 100%. Is there a moment where like it's like I'll let you have the moment with the Lightning for at first, but like outside of that, is there a moment where like you can just sit back and be like, damn, I did that?
Yeah, I would say it's probably history in the making, and not just because of the Milwaukee Bucks in particular, which was a very special moment for me. Incredible to be a part of that history, but that song and what it meant to me, and what I was able to achieve with that as a musician when I wrote that, it was very special. And we actually even had a campaign with Viacom CBS, which is MTV, BET, VH1, CMT, all of those networks, Showtime, that's all Viacom. We did a campaign called Vote for Your Life, which was meant to inspire people to get out and vote, and that ran throughout the entire election process. And they played in full history in the making throughout that, everywhere. So people got exposed to it that way, and it just was a really important track for me. And I would say that outside of Thunder and Lightning, that one for sure. Outside of Thunder and Lightning and Ready Set, I would say history in the making for sure is just one of those special moments that did a lot for me as a musician, for sure. And I hope it contributed a lot to people who heard it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, it was a powerful song. It honestly really was. So just like when you listen to it, like, dare I say that might, to me, like lyrically, it's more powerful than our Lightning song, just because of like, you know what I mean? Because I understand like
emotional gravity.
Yeah, and I grew up as a basketball fan, so especially when it comes to like the Milwaukee Bucks, I understand. It was like 50 plus years before they won between NBA championships. So like to me, it's I understood that, and like it's one of those songs like when I hear it, I'm like, for me, I'm just like, damn, like I'll rock out to Ready Set and to Thunder and Lightning, but in a different vibe, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm playing them to just kind of, I don't want to say get crunk, but you know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of like,
that's exactly why you're playing it. It's like Thunder and Lightning is a call to power. Thunder and Lightning is you know, an eruption of emotion and, you know, champions energy. That's what Thunder and Lightning is. You put Thunder and Lightning on to remind yourself what you are capable of. And that is impossible things. That's what you can do. The impossible through Thunder and Lightning. History in the making is more reflective. It's very emotionally it's got a lot of emotional gravity. It's got a lot of heft to it. You know, it's more like, it's kind of like a hip hop ballad, you know. So the two are very necessary. I could put both of them on an album and they wouldn't cancel each other out. In fact, they would be like on completely different spectrums of each other. Sure. But I think depending on the day, I'm either or, you know, like if I'm on the treadmill and I'm about to like make myself quit, then I'm gonna put on Thunder and Lightning, and that's what's gonna get me over the line. You know, that's what's gonna make me work harder than I did the day before. And History in the Making is just one of those where, like, if I'm just driving, thinking about, you know, some of the things that I've seen and things that inspire me, or like, you know, people who've made great strides in history. That's what I'm putting on History in the Making, you know, and I may shed a tear. You dig? Like,
right.
It's like that vibe. Yeah. But I appreciate all of that, man. I'm happy that you even like listen, man. And like, I saw that I got one listen. I knew it was somebody. I'm glad it was you.
that was yeah, because I was like, I'm trying to run through and like get all of my notes correct, because like I'd like to say that I'm a pretty good talker. Like I've probably done 12,000 podcasts over the years, right? Wow. And like, but I have the tendency, I like to talk and I like to meet people and learn about them, but I have the tendency to kind of ramble. So I got to have my run sheet together so I don't like get off of course a little bit. And I was like, how can I need to listen to Vo's music as I'm going. And I hit top songs and I just hit shuffle. And I was just like, let's get some stuff going here. But I send it over to you and let you know, like, hey, these are my plans for the show today.
Oh, very dope. I love it, man. This conversation has been incredible. And yeah, I can really tell that you dove in and took a look, and it's helped, like stuff like talks like this, you know, help me remember a little bit about kind of like where I'm coming from as well. And it helps me stay in gratitude and appreciate the things that I've been honored to be a part of, you know, and you don't often get all of that in one place, you know, like I'm not like waking up and thinking about everything that I've ever done, you know. It's usually one thing or the other, or like, oh man, I'm, you know, the theme for WWE, man, that's what's up. Or like, I'm thinking about Thunder and Lightning, just thinking about like handing the mic to one of the fans and letting them sing the song, or like fist bumping people on the way down the stairs, or like people stopping and taking pictures with me and telling me their stories. And I think about that stuff and it makes me happy, you know. And, you know, but it's like all these different things come to you. Sometimes I think about 106 and Park and freestyle, but in a conversation like this, you get to like kind of reflect again on some of what you've done. And it's just a huge service, man. And I really appreciate you for that, because, you know, it keeps me in gratitude, man. And and after this, I just feel like I just want to work even harder. I want to get off of this call and work 10 times harder, because it's like, yeah, you're right. This is where we are now. And now what can we do? You know? So it's just a huge service. I can't thank you enough for it. And I know that I'm not even fully expressing the way that I feel about having this opportunity with you today, man. But it's a huge blessing and a huge gift, and I appreciate every moment. And which is why we could probably talk for like another hour, to be honest with you.
Honestly, yeah, we really could, because there's so many parallels, like I said, between our personalities and stuff. So I'm like, you know, because obviously we've DM'd before, but this is the first time we've actually physically, like I said, outside of like in passing, just be like, oh, hey, Vo, I'm Danny. And getting a fist bump. And I was like, you're getting ready to perform and stuff. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I sent this message like we're old friends. Be like, hey, pal, can we come on the show? And you're like, hey, who is this? And I'm like, oh God, I did that.
But to be fair, you were speaking to me through your branded account, and it wasn't right. Like, this is Danny. It was like, this is Channelside Sports. I'm like, all right, but who at the company? Am I talking to like just in general, like?
Yeah, it's everybody. It's all of Channelside that's talking to you, right? It's all of Tampa that's talking to you, Vo.
I love it, man. Yeah,
I definitely appreciate you taking the time to come on here. Hopefully, we can run this back and do it some more and dive even deeper into stuff. I know before I let you go, I want to touch on this because I saw that you run like 6 miles a day. Is that something you still do, or is that
I'm
is that kind of in the past?
That's man, bro, look at you, man. I mean, and like when I was at the height of my training, I was doing 10 miles a day, 10 to 6 miles a day, depending on the day. Now I'm down to a 5K. I do that every day. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that later today when we get off here. I do that a day, just to kind of because my knees and stuff like that. I want to make sure that, and I also train martial arts too. So I need my body for many things throughout the day. So, yeah, I do run. I love to run, and yeah, I just vibe out. And the music is what kind of keeps me going, man. If I'm gonna be honest with you, so
yeah. And it's just like an all-in-one. Like, what you're running. Do you have the same playlist that you listen to every time you run, or does it vary depending on like?
I do. I have a few playlists.
Okay.
One is like all Metallica, System of a Down, and then like Pusha T and like a bunch of Then one is all my music, right? Because again, I made the music that I needed, right? I'm not listening to myself because I have a huge ego. Like it's just like I couldn't find the power that I needed, so I made that. So I listened to a playlist of my music, and then I have a playlist of just like all different like hip hop artists that I love, and it's like Beanie Siegel is on there, and like Vince Staples, Pusha T, like all those guys. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
I love that. But you know what though? Even if you're listening to your own music, you have to listen to your own music, and so you can be your own critic.
Indeed, absolutely.
Because there's not going to be anybody that's harder on you than you.
100%, 100%, absolutely.
So like, I'm gonna watch this video back, and I'm gonna be like, God dang, like you gotta open your eyes more, man. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm gonna like that's those are things that I notice for myself as well. So you have to be your own critic when you're doing these things.
Hey man, it makes us better for sure.
Absolutely, it does. Well, Vo, let everybody know where they can find you. Obviously, I've got the Twitter and Instagram handle on the screen, but like, what is outside of what we have coming with the Tampa Bay Lightning? What else can we expect from you in the near future?
Wow. I actually just did another project with Viacom, which is, kind of introducing more diversity in the film and television. That's going to be dropping soon. You'll be seeing more updates about that on my Twitter and my Instagram. And just, a lot of new things coming up for the next season, man. Obviously we're going to continue working with the NFL. WWE's got some special things happening, and getting ready for the next season with Tampa Bay Lightning. And in between that, a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies. So yeah, just stay tuned, man, because it's coming. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's happening tonight that I actually can't speak on until it happens, and also don't want to date. I don't want to date this conversation.
Right.
So yeah, stay tuned with the Instagram and with the Twitter, and you'll be able to keep up with all the stuff that we have going on, and exciting things, man.
Awesome. Vo, I appreciate the time, man. Great conversation. Like I said, hopefully we can run it back again. And next time you're in Tampa, we'll have to meet up and, actually have a conversation versus just in passing, hey, what's going on?
I'm down, bro. Anytime. Let's get it.
All right. I appreciate it. Every guy, make sure you look up Vo Williams. Look us up because you already know who Vo Williams is. You don't know who we are yet. Like, let's be real here. Vo, 2,000 credits every single plays. You know him in Tampa as our voice. Sorry, Greg. Vo is our voice. The voice of the entire community. Vo, once again, I appreciate it, man, and hopefully we do this again in the near future.
Thank you so much, man. So good to see you, man. Appreciate
it. Hey, absolutely.
Go Bolts. Yeah.